Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. Monday morning, Chelsea news. We've got a brand new here we go. Chelsea have signed Axel Disasi, the Monaco centre-back, 25-year-old Frenchman. We're going to talk about him in today's video alongside Robert Sanchez and Chelsea's crazy proposal that actually, when you break it down, may not be that crazy after all for Kylian Mbappe. This conversation still keeps going. It's the 31st of July today. And if PSG, and they have Mbappe as a player tomorrow, they owe him an extra 60 million euros in a loyalty bonus. So we're going to talk about Mbappe. But first things first, I do want to say thank you for all the support recently. If you're not yet subscribed to GBFC, make sure you do so. Put the bell notifications on. And if you're enjoying the Chelsea news daily updates right now, please hit the like button on this video. We begin by discussing a new potential second choice goalkeeper at Chelsea Football Club. Goes by the name of Robert Sanchez of Brighton. Nathan Gissing has said, understand Chelsea have internally decided on targeting Robert Sanchez as the goalkeeper to provide competition for Kepa Arrizabalaga. But as of last week, no contact made yet with the player's side. I feel as though this is one of those deals that again, Chelsea could get done quickly. Robert Sanchez is a keeper slightly out of favour at Brighton under De Zerbi, and I think this is the kind of calibre of second choice keeper signing that Chelsea need. We turned our nose up at Andre Onana, which I still think would have been a brilliant signing for us. He goes to Manchester United. We turned the nose up at the price of Mike Maignan also from AC Milan, and I think as a result of this, Pochettino throughout this pre-season has just accepted that Kepa Arrizabalaga is going to be number one at Chelsea. So a goalkeeper like Robert Sanchez is a decent backup. Bettinelli is always going to be a number three. He's there for the vibes. Slonina is about to get probably a high-profile loan move in Belgium to a top club in Belgium. That's the kind of move he needs. He's not played top-level football in a top league, so Slonina's going to need minutes, professional, competitive minutes at a decent level. So he's going to go on loan. Chelsea are going to need a new second-choice keeper. Robert Sanchez of Brighton. This one, I'm relatively happy about. I don't think it would be a massive fee. So let's see how this one develops when Chelsea make contact with the player to agree personal terms. And then, of all of the negotiations we're going to do with Brighton this summer, this one you'd envisage probably being one of the easier ones. If they start to ask for 70 million for Robert Sanchez, then we know that Brighton have just got a few screws loose in the old brain of how that football club is ran. We move to Fabrizio Romano. It was actually broken by David Ornstein yesterday. I was asleep when this was happening, but Chelsea have sealed Axel Disasi deal. Documents and paperwork set to be exchanged between the clubs, obviously Chelsea and Monaco. 5-year deal with an option until 2029. That's very typical right now of what Chelsea are doing with player contracts. It's a 5-year deal with additional options to extend it. Chelsea will pay 45 million euros to Monaco. That equates to being around 38 million pounds. So again, it's in that bracket of like 30 to 40 million quid, which at the moment is proving to be the price point where Chelsea are making their best signings. Medical booked for early next week, which is now this week. Interest but no bid from United or Newcastle. I feel as though this is a really good deal for Chelsea. When you look at the profile of defender of Axel Disasi, he's a unit. If you take a look at him physically, his presence is daunting. 6'3", nearly 6'4". He's 25 years of age. He's a very good ball-playing centre-half who likes to carry the ball, get forward. He's got a great shot on him as well. And from my early understandings about this player, when you look at the way he's played at Monaco, he's not been injured. He's not been injured at all since signing for Monaco, I think 3 years ago, played over 100 times for the club. And I think he's the kind of profile of defender who, when you look at him physically, he reminds me of a lot of Alex. Alex was at Chelsea quite a long time ago now, but he was that centre-back who loved to take the ball out from defence, have a little pop shot, very strong, agile, but at the same time, because he is so tall and so big, there is going to be the small striker that manages to work his way around the back of him. But I do think as a backup to Thiago Silva, Wesley Fofana, I think this is proof that Wesley Fofana is going to miss the entire season. I don't think Chelsea would have spent near £40 million on a centre-back if there was a chance that Wesley Fofana would have been back at some point during the season. There is also the knock-on effect that we need to talk about regarding Trevoh Chalobah and maybe even Levi Colwill. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I think with Disasi, he's the kind of signing that Pochettino has liked, in the sense of Mauricio Pochettino wants to see the defence getting out. We want to be able to play the ball from the back. We want to see defenders playing those line-breaking passes. And I think Axel Disasi is that kind of player. The question is, what does it mean for Trevoh Chalobah? There's been a lot of rumours that Chelsea might look to sell Trev. They see him as surplus to requirements. Maybe because, again, Chelsea Football Club, behind closed doors, working on this deal for Disasi. As Fabrizio Romano alludes to, United were interested, Newcastle were interested, but Chelsea, out of nowhere, this is exactly the same as Ugochukwu, the guy who we've just bought, who I just keep on stressing out about the pronunciation of his bloody name. And thank you for those of you that were trying to help me in the comments section of yesterday's news video breaking about that signing. But Disasi is a player that a lot of high-profile clubs have been looking at. And I think at Chelsea, when you look at the ability for Chelsea to make pure profit on the Chalobah sale, Thiago Silva was magnificent in the game against Fulham. This could be a really good signing. Maybe he's fourth choice centre-back, in my opinion. I think Silva, Badiashile, probably better at passing even than Disasi. It is the right side though. And very quickly, Disasi could be the number one right-sided centre-back at Chelsea. If Chalobah's sold, which I think he's going to be now. Thiago Silva as well, 38, nearly 39 in a couple of months. We don't know how long he's going to be there, playing at that peak, at the pinnacle, which he still is at right now. Disasi, 25 years old, adding also to the French contingent at Chelsea Football Club. We're making a lot of French signings, and if you look at the core of the squad, I think there's more French players now than English players. I might be wrong with that one, but it certainly looks it with Nkunku coming through the door. Malo Gusto, Benoit Badiashile last summer as well. Chelsea are building something here. The team that have reached the last two World Cup finals, it makes sense that Chelsea are looking to invest in French players. Another French player that Chelsea are interested in is, of course, Kylian Mbappé. This is from Deadline Day Live. Chelsea are pushing hard to recruit Kylian Mbappé this summer. A player plus cash transfer is favoured by the Blues. This is sourced by Duncan Castles. Now, immediately, off the top of my head, right, we've talked about this Mbappe potential deal. I said that I think in terms of what it could mean for Chelsea in the long run, I think there's a player that is just so desperate to play for Real Madrid that PSG might be desperate to sell him to a Chelsea now, but Mbappe's going to want to go. So I said for that very reason, we seem pretty settled right now. We've got great players at this club. We've got a new manager who seems to be really working well with this team. But at the same time, when the opportunity arises to sign arguably the best player on the planet, Kylian Mbappe, one of, elite, he's up there. He's definitely up there at least. Then you've got to go for it. And if there is a player plus cash deal that Chelsea can strike here with PSG, maybe Romelu Lukaku, Hakim Ziyech, Raheem Sterling. We're talking here about two of the biggest wage earners at the club, Lukaku, Sterling, the kind of profile of player that PSG would be looking to bring in with Mbappe leaving the club. They're losing a lot of goals. They lost the creativity also of Lionel Messi. So could Raheem Sterling, who at this moment in time, I'm looking at what he's done during this pre-season, and he just keeps on falling lower and lower in the pecking order to the point where I'd even say Angelo Gabriel is probably ahead of him in terms of what I think he can bring to the team. Gabriel's probably going to go on loan to Strasbourg, which means that there is going to be a gap, and I think Sterling could fill it, but still, that output, that end product, just isn't good enough. And imagine the link-up between Mbappe, Christopher Nkunku in the Chelsea attack, even Nicholas Jackson. You've got to keep him in there at this point. The guy is exciting. But Chelsea are still interested in this. Remember, one of the first things that Todd Boehly said when he first came to the club was he wants to bring some of the biggest names in the sport to play for Chelsea Football Club. And they don't really get much bigger at this point in his career, at the age that he's at for Mbappe. The commercial benefits of Chelsea bringing him in would be immense, but it would probably just be a short-term thing. With Real Madrid knocking on the door, there is a massive sign-on bonus that's being touted that Mbappe will have when he joins Real Madrid. The belief is still that there is a pre-agreement for 2024, but PSG want to sell him. They want him gone. He's not joined them in their tour in Asia, so he's not playing. I don't see Mbappe playing another game of football ever again for Paris Saint-Germain. Let me know what your thoughts are on this in the comments down below. Levi Colwill is still desperately wanted. Chelsea are not giving up on Moises Caicedo. I've got to update you guys on this because it is Chelsea's priority, as reported still by Fabrizio Romano. Brighton are insisting that Colwill is part of this deal. The latest news is 80 million was Chelsea's best offer so far. 100 million is what Brighton are asking for still. Will we make that 20 million up? And I just hope that we don't involve Colwill in this deal. Levi Colwill, in my opinion, within the next 2 years, could be in the same bracket of figures. English centre-back in the Premier League, he's a top player already. And I can see the value being something like what Brighton are asking for Caicedo. So Chelsea, don't give in. Disasi's a right-sided centre-back. Colwill's left-sided. These two should be playing together. Not Colwill sold because we bring in Disasi for 38 million quid. Great player. Excited about it. That's been the main talking point of today's video. Don't include Colwill for Caicedo, please. But anyway, that wraps up the news. Let me know your thoughts on Mbappe in the comments down below. We've got to keep talking about it because no one's bought him yet, and Chelsea really are interested. But Axel Disasi, this one's come out of nowhere. Keep an eye on these kind of deals from Chelsea because that is what we keep seeing. The players coming in are the ones that no one has any idea about until the last second when a journalist drops the information. Hit the like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you are new. Come on, you Blues.